Okay guys, hello, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I last posted, but I come bearing good news. I have finally finished the update to the overlay indicator after about 3 months of intensive work, straight through Christmas and everything. So this video I will try to keep relatively short. I will just kind of go over the main differences between the V1 settings and the V2 settings panel. For those of you that already have access to it or have watched my videos, first of all, thank you very much for your support, and I really appreciate it. But don't worry in the sense that quite a lot of stuff has changed, but overall the functionality is still the same, but much more expanded. And yeah, we'll cover that in this video. And then the next video, which hopefully I will be able to do today and bring it out either tomorrow or the day after, hopefully, that's the video tutorial that I will actually go in depth like I did in the previous one, but hopefully a bit more compact and contained, because I felt like I ranted a bit way too much in the V1 versions. So before we dive into that, I have a couple of announcements to make. So in recent events, the Bitcoin ETF got approved, and we're entering 2024, which hopefully will be another crypto bull cycle year, and hopefully we'll be making lots of money again. We'll see how it plays out with all the political stuff, but and all the stuff that's going around the world. But to kind of celebrate the Bitcoin ETF event and me finishing the update, I have decided to the sacred geometry indicator. So that's this one that you see on the screen right now. If you've seen my videos, you kind of know what it's about. It's this vertical grid and then the frequency wave, right? So this indicator, I have decided to make it free for everybody for life. So it's just going to be free access. It's not going to be behind paywall anymore. I just want everybody to have it, because it's kind of like a macro tool that, you know, you don't really need it for trading. It's more about timing the cycle and stuff. And I think just it can help a lot of people that maybe aren't, you know, too focused on trading itself, but more of just kind of positioning spots, having some Bitcoin for when the bull run starts and kind of when to exit and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think this can be a great tool for that. And yeah, I'm just feeling generous, I guess. I'll just give it away for free and leave the other two behind the paywall, because I think in terms of trading, they offer enough value at this point that yeah, it kind of covers my goal, basically. Anyway, yeah, so I will post this link in the video description. This version of this indicator will be completely free, so you can favorite and then add it to your charts and have at it, I would say. Enjoy. When you hit the link, you should see this. And then here at the bottom, you add it to your favorites. And then it should appear in here, right? In your favorites list, it should appear over there. If it doesn't appear, maybe try resetting the TradingView app, because I had that issue as well. And then once you reset it, it should probably appear in the list, and then you can use it. So there you go. Let's see. Then, like I said, the next video will be about the overlay 2.0, which is, let me show you, which is this one. And the promo that I will be running next to the announcement of sacred geometry going free for everybody is that, as you can read here in the description, I'm gonna run a beta testing promo phase, basically starting this week when this video goes live, or and then until the end of February, right? So the entire month of February, this beta version of the overlay 2.0 will be free for everybody to pick up. And after that period, it's going to go back behind the paywall as the official 2.0 release on March 1st. And just a tiny note is that the alerts in this build are disabled. Yeah. So tomorrow, when I upload the actual tutorial video about the overlay 2.0 and all the stuff that has changed, then there will be a link in there so you can come to this page, add it to your favorites, and then in a similar fashion, add it to your charts. And that will then, that version will stay there until the end of February, right? At that point, I will then delete it and it will be behind the paywall again. And then last but not least, the third announcement is that if you go and pick up the Sacred Geometry after this video, at the bottom you can also find a link to my new Discord that I'm starting. And the main reason for this Discord is that I want to have a place for people to come and ask questions and find out about, you know, pricing and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very bare bones at the moment because I just, you know, fired it up yesterday, and hopefully over the course of February I will be able to flesh it out and, you know, add all the channels and make it look fancy and all that stuff. And then at the end of February I will kind of assess like what the state is and whatnot, and if it warrants it, then at some point I'm gonna put most of the Discord also behind the paywall for obvious reasons. But for now, during the promo phase, it will be free for everybody. You can just join, come on, hang out, and like ask any sort of questions you have. I will be there, and I will be very happy to help you, right? So for the Sacred Geometry or for the overlay, it doesn't matter, right? I will still be active in Roman's Profit Discord, just as usual. I'm not going to disappear or anything. I'm not trying to poach people away or anything like that. This is just mainly for me being able to help people and keep them up to date and that kind of stuff without completely, you know, shilling my stuff and overloading Roman's Discord server with questions about my indicator, right? That's kind of like the idea behind it. All right, so I will delete this from the chart. This is the link to the Sacred Geometry indicator. In case for whatever reason the link in the description, I forget about it or it doesn't work, pause the video, type this into your browser, and you should be able to arrive at the indicator. All right. So I made a tiny screenshot. Here we go. And I'm just gonna quickly compare what the differences are between version 1 and version 2 of the overlay. Just kind of in a general sense. And then, like I said, in the next video, I will actually go into detail, put this on the chart, and actually show like how everything works, right? So a couple of things to note. There's a few options that have been removed. For example, open, close, high, low, no longer there. Simple complex mode is no longer there. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, these like the options of opacity and that kind of stuff has also gone. Let me change the color to kind of not make everything the same. So let's take like a more yellow kind of thing. So the color system I changed as follows. So what I noticed when I was recording the V1 tutorial version is that despite my efforts of kind of making it in such a way that it's looks intuitive, maybe, I don't know. I kind of failed at it, in my opinion, because I felt that everything was getting too convoluted, too complex, and yeah, I decided to change it, just make everything more condensed, simpler, but still try to use the space efficiently, like horizontally and stuff, and just have it look a bit more intuitive, hopefully. As you'll notice, the screenshot doesn't include the alerts. They are there, but just in the screenshot, they are not present. So this whole thing about every section having its own color scheme is now gone. And instead, you just have two color themes here, right? And the idea is that you have, like I use it, one for light mode and one for dark mode. And then you have a little toggle here that if you activate that, then you switch between the two, right? So if it's off, you use the top one. If it's on, you use the bottom one. The overlay tick rate, it's still there, but most of the functionality that this one provided is now contained within multi-time frame mode, right? The option is still there, and I will go over the details in the next video. Supply and demand, it's also still there, but it has moved. It is now this row here, right? It's all contained within here. I kind of put it into the same segment as the market structure, right? Because it was just kind of lonesome up there, and I just, you know, thought it would be easier to just have it together with the market structure stuff. The range finder is the new name I gave to the automated range, right? It's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit catchier, just a name change, that's it, right? I've changed the abbreviation. AR is now RF. Apologies if I occasionally still call it the automated range, because it's just force of habit, but just in case you hear me talking about either one of these, just know that it's exactly the same thing, right? Let's see, next up we have, so what are the options for the rangefinder since this is all removed? This is for the displaying the time frames. That is new, now here. So it has just moved location, that's all. Let me switch the color, so just to kind of like not make everything the same. Backtest is no longer there, but it's included in these options, and I will explain how it works, because it now works a little bit differently. It's this mode here and then combined with this option here, which is basically a look back period. So you can put a number of bars that you want the chart to draw the range and everything else, right? It's now more a general setting. It not only affects the rangefinder, it also affects everything below. So everything just kind of draws back up until 500 bars, and then it stops drawing. It's to be more efficient with the resources and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully you will notice that once you load it up on the charts, you'll just notice that it's much, much snappier than before. Basically what this also means is that version 2.0 pretty much doesn't use any plots at all, like just a couple of them, where this one uses a lot of plots. Plots are the things you use to draw moving averages, for example. And those are kind of like the most resource intensive things that you can use in an indicator, and this one was pretty much at the limit of 64. And this one I think has maybe 6 total, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's a big difference. Right. So yeah, you turn it on and off. That's just kind of like, you know, your standard stuff. And then there's like some new special options, which I will explain because it just is beyond the scope of this video. So we still have the quarter ranges like before. We have the golden ratios like before. And now instead of just, where is it? Targets. Here, 1-to-1 targets, right? These are now separated in targets high and targets low. So you can activate either both of them or just one of them. And to get the targets of the golden ratios, then you have to go have golden ratios plus your target high or low activated at the same time, right? So just works slightly different, but all the options are still there, right? Now everything that's related to market structure, so like the market structure breaks and the labeling of the structure, that has now all moved into its own section of market structure. So you have the market structure breaks and the highs and lows, which also contains all the labels and that kind of stuff. So basically these two here now contain this. They contain the breaks and also just the higher low and higher highs, right? So that's all within this and this now. don't destroy it. Yeah. The only thing that has actually disappeared is the wicks. The wicks are no longer there. And the reason is because I now use them in this option here, which I will show that has to do with swing failure patterns and that kind of stuff. So I just kind of needed the drawing of the wicks to be focused on the swing failure patterns instead of just having just the line of the level, basically. But you'll see what I mean when we get into it in the next video. Yeah, and then the deviations of the range high and that kind of stuff is also contained within the SFPs now. And then obviously we have the alerts, which will, come here. I am in the process of reworking these as well, because, for example, obviously these are now also contained within this, so it's just like one option basically where you activate all sorts of SFPs all at the same time. This one didn't used to work properly. I figured out after I launched the version 1, so that's gonna be fixed. And yeah, so it's gonna be looking a bit different, but essentially, the alerts are gonna be there once the actual beta testing phase ends and I get the official release out. I should have enough time to get it done by the end of February. All right, so that kind of covers the changes in terms of the settings panel. Yeah, and just to kind of rant a little bit about why and that kind of stuff this update is coming out is, well, mainly the multi-time frame thing is the biggest reason. And yeah, the way that I achieved that, I had to essentially take the basic functions that TradingView has built into PineScript, and the one that I was using to, create this thing, kind of deconstruct it and build it from the ground up, custom made. So I have more input over, or more control over the inputs that I can put into it, right? And that finally kind of allowed me to properly do multi-time frame stuff. So yeah, building it from the ground up again really required me to do the whole thing, back from scratch and take it step by step. And yeah, that's kind of why it took a long time. But the cool thing is that at the end of it all, it not only taught me a bunch of new stuff that was really good, but yeah, everything should be more efficient, more snappy. Yeah, just under the hood, it works quite differently than before. And hopefully that will show once I get to the next video and show you guys what I've been up to these last few months. So let me just, let's see, can I delete all this? Yeah. There we go. That's enough. So let me just highlight in green. So basically the new features of, the main new features of overlay version 2.0 are the multi-time frame aspect of it, which basically replaces, like I said, the old overlay tick rate kind of thing, which is still here, but might in the future also be removed as it's kind of not necessary anymore. But yeah, I left it there for now. And yeah, we'll see how it goes in future updates. So that's new. So the SD blocks, this section is now much more advanced, and yeah, much more integral part, not only just of SD blocks, they're now also used in the rangefinder and in the market structure and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty new. And then as you'll see, the rangefinder has a new function that not only are you now basically allowed to run it with, let's say, without backtest mode and have it show everything, you can now actually put this into manual mode, and then by selecting a certain number, you can actually select an individual range that you are particularly interested in. So now you can even, say, can kind of give you a quick sneak peek, and I will cover this in the next video. Let's say we go to the 4 hour on Bitcoin, and let's say the current rangefinder is here, right? For example, but you personally are actually interested in tracking this range here, right? This one, for example. Align this here, right? So now all these ranges that it finds, it will have numbers identifying them when you put it into manual mode. And then you can actually just select the number of the range that you want, and it will adapt the whole rangefinder thing to this particular range, basically, and then locks it there until you decide to change it, right? But yeah, I will go into the details of how that exactly works in the next one, in the next video. Yeah, and then let's see, anything else? Yes, and the background trend is also a new feature, which I will be showing as well. All right, I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to say in this one. Trying to keep it relatively short, hopefully. Let's see. I have been recording for 21 minutes. That's nice, good. Yeah, so to kind of sum up, next video will be all about the intricate details about Overlay 2.0. I have learned quite a bunch of stuff that I want to also try and implement certain aspects of it into the quantizer, the oscillator. But yeah, that's still going to take quite some time because I also have some other ideas and I'm going to be doing the Discord stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be pretty swamped probably for the next few months. And then, yeah, at some point I will dive into and actually update the quantizer to version 2.0 as well. I have some like cool ideas that I'm gonna probably be adding to it, and yeah, but I still have to check if everything is gonna work, and you know, and so on and so on. And then I also obviously want to adapt all these old settings panels to be somewhat similar to this, which is just more elegant, simple, and hopefully much more intuitive for users that are new to the suite. Let's see, anything else I need to cover? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So just a reminder, Sacred Geometry is now free for everybody. Go pick it up. The link should be in the description. And yeah, if you have any questions, join the Discord and I'll be happy to help you. The Discord is open to everybody for the time being, so you can just hop in. And if you're from the Prophets Discord, well, you know me, just don't be shy, you know, and come hang out and ask all the questions that you want to ask, right? And then the Overlay 2.0 beta promotion is going to be running as soon as the next video goes live. It will have a link, so you can pick it up for free, and that free version will stay up until the end of February. And then on March 1st, that version is going to disappear and it's going to go back behind the paywall. Right, so I hope that all makes sense, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.